Hey everybody, welcome back, or if it's your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. I just want to acknowledge all the great feedback and comments that I got from my last video. It was really heartwarming to read, and I really appreciate everyone sharing their thoughts. I titled this one, Discovering Your Voice Through Change, and I specifically wanted to explore how, as artists, we respond to different stimulus and different challenges in our lives, and how these things can lead to rapid, deep, and meaningful growth. I know this is not a new concept to anyone, but I think it's really important that we remind ourselves of it. Typically, our lives can stay on a calm and comfortable route unless we have catalysts and things that come along that we have to respond to. Now, these are things that sometimes we cannot prevent, things that we cannot control, or they can be things that we deliberately seek out. Regardless, they will cause change in us every single time. Practicing the same thing the same way over and over will make you very good at that one thing, but a curious pursuit of new ideas, new techniques, and approaches will provide exponentially more growth and more depth and meaning. Now, when I started using the Pilot Parallel Pen and drawing these stark black and white frames, it was a response to something that had happened in my life that was extremely difficult. And I found that I really needed something desperately to let me express some of the emotions that I was feeling. I had never spent any real time drawing in pen and ink before, and definitely not in this very graphic approach. It was totally new for me, and I made mistakes all the time. But drawing directly with pen and ink on paper caused me to be curious about painting again. I started exploring paint again in a different way. I worked very, very small. I played with the medium. I played with the brushes. I made lots of mistakes. But there's something magical about experimenting with physical medium. And when you work small like this, you're forced to not take things too seriously or be too precious. And I can't stress enough how important that is. I felt like art making was joyful again. My hands were dirty. I was playing with these different materials, and I was gracious about the process, and I was gracious with myself. I wouldn't have picked up painting again after all these years of digital art if it hadn't been for the pen and ink work I was doing in my sketchbook with these big chunky parallel pens. And I'm so grateful that I was open to trying something new. The tactile physicality of working with my hands gave birth to a new passion. I started carving wooden spoons because I had seen some YouTube videos. And you might be thinking, how does this relate to ink drawing, Brian? And just bear with me. First of all, wood carving is 100% subtractive, whereas pen and ink drawing is 100% additive. And in both cases, you have no safety net or undo. There's something really special about that because you create an attachment and a sensitivity to the material you're working with that is really complementary to all the other types of art that you might pursue. And by choosing a medium that's the opposite, additive versus subtractive, you create a stimulus and a catalyst for change and growth. Working with wood in this way gave me the idea that maybe I wanted to try sculpture. And I had tried some digital tools in the past like ZBrush, but I really was on this tactile, physical medium kind of thing. And I started playing. I just got some materials, and with that same kind of childlike curiosity, I just started exploring and experimenting. I continued drawing directly with ink, and one exercise I love doing is figure invention to imply a shorthand of anatomy and motion and gesture. I found that I was slowly developing a reciprocal confidence in the marks that I would lay down, similar to the cuts of the knife in the spoons I was carving. This direct application and focus on movement started me down a whole other path. I started animating in Procreate on the iPad Pro, working in really small frames and just trying to understand the medium, but also just playing and not being precious, knowing that I was a beginner and I was trying to just understand movement, anticipation, how the animation works with the sides of the frame, timing, and I found a whole new form of expression. Every time I introduced myself to a new thing, and I did so just because I was curious about it, I found a new dimension to my own voice. Working small and quickly on these small thumbnails led me to want to create stories, some sequential image making, which was something I hadn't done a lot of either. And that became totally fascinating to me, to use the things I was doing with my ink work, the animation, and that kind of direct drawing to explore a new dimension. Most of all in this video, I think I just want to stress the importance of not taking things too seriously and letting yourself be a kid again. Play with things, play with materials, splash paint around. Don't worry about the outcome so much. It's all about trial and error and adaptation and response to what you're doing in the moment. If you don't try, you won't have those moments of growth where you learn the most about yourself. Don't be precious about any of it. It's all fleeting. Just make things and then make more things. And your voice is what will remain through it all.